I was a filmmaker, I was a production designer and a set carpenter, a gaffer, and I worked in the industry for 4 years. I love discussing movies that I've seen with other people who've seen these movies. And there's not a lot of people who see a lot of these movies. Some of them are very obscure. So being able to go to a place where I can sit there and say, hey, did you see this movie, CJ? Like, you know, $50,000 budget was just made like right around the corner last week that you happen to have on the shelf. And it's like, yeah, like, dude, they had some pretty cool practical effects in there, right? You're sharing a part of that culture that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Hey, Tina. How are you?
I do think the people who come to the store are definitely more enthusiasts. It's so easy to stay home and just stream things, and it's not much of an incentive to get out and come to a store. So I think the people who do definitely are looking for a different experience, and I think they get more out of it.
My name is Victor, and I've been coming to Video Exclusive for about 3 years.
My name is Michael. I've been coming to Video Exclusive for about 7 months.
My name is Leon, and I've been coming to Video Exclusive for a year.
I'm Alec Peterson, and I've been coming to Video Exclusive for about 25 years.
Yeah, I came in here, asked CJ behind the counter for some recommendations. He mentioned when we were walking around the store, he's into Italian horror movies. And I just watched a really good one a friend recommended to me, like really obscure. And I brought it up to him. I said, oh, I got one you might like since you're into Italian horror movies. It's called Anguish. And he goes, yeah, with Zelda Rubinstein. And he knew the year it came out, the production company. And I'm like, I'm going to get some good stuff here.
My name is Tina Galindo. I've worked here as the manager for 27 years. I love working here because of the movies and the employees. We are a family. We're close-knit.
It has a heart and a charm that you can't really find in other stores. And it's an experience being here.
It brings back a lot of childhood memories. You know, I come in here and find movies I used to watch as a kid.
The people behind the counter are great, and they also just like talking about movies. Like that's what I do with all my friends. Any movie people, I'll talk to them.
We're huge movie fans here, and particularly like horror and genre fans, so we get all kinds of weirder titles that, unless you're a collector and you're willing to spend the money just to buy it, you're not going to be able to really find it other ways.
If you go to the video store and you pick something out, you pick that thing out to watch it. So you want to bring it home and watch it and complete the experience. You're not going to bring that thing home and turn it off 10 minutes in. Because you've already invested more into the process. So you're going to probably sit down and want to finish that movie.
I think if you have to actually make anything into an activity, you're going to appreciate it more. I think you're going to get more out of it because it wasn't just, I picked up the remote and turned on my TV.
On the streaming service, they kind of feel disposable because the barrier to entry wasn't that great. All you did was hit a button. It's just a totally different relationship we have with things that we like see, touch, pick up, hand to somebody else, they hand back to you, versus the totally non-committal hit a button on streaming.
For anybody I talk to, that's a thing where it's like, I scrolled for 20 minutes and settled on a thing, as opposed to I came here, I got to interface and talk to somebody, which I think is also missing from streaming. You don't really get to talk about these things because everybody's watching whatever they want. There's not really a culture based around that so much anymore.
it's all led to the fracture of the culture of ourselves, and there's no thing that we're sharing together, or there's less things that we're sharing together, so the things that we are sharing together mean more.
I do believe that the internet has taken away a lot of our social interaction. And even though the video store, even growing up, it's not like it's like the social place to like go and hang out. But it in a sense, it kind of was like comic shops and video stores. Those were things that I really enjoyed when I was a kid.
Anything good lately?
I like the cold filter. I like that.
Okay.
Got Antonio Banderas and I believe Alec.
Oh, really? Like online film communities, like Letterboxd, have made film cool. And what you've seen and kind of what you want to see and the great directors that people have heard so much about, that they want to chase down those filmographies and they want to knock off the classics. And so you can't necessarily find all those movies in the spaces that everybody else has access to. And if it's just the thing that everybody sees that comes out on Netflix on Friday, that's not quite the same as chasing down something rare and that kind of becoming something to find for themselves. So something like a video store that has those titles, you gotta see this. And the only place you can see this thing is there, that becomes cool.
We have an insane selection of movies here. You're not gonna find all of this on any one single service, like streaming service. And you're certainly not going to find some of these titles anywhere streaming. They only exist physically.
Also, if you buy a title on Amazon that you have no idea about, it might cost you $40. If you get a chance to rent it for $3, it's a better proposition. Plus, you get the experience out of it. It's cooler to go to a video store than it is to wait for the mail to come. Wait for the mail to come.
I happened to pass by here one day, and I was like, I'm gonna go in there one day and I'm gonna see what they got. And I came in here and I was stunned.
You start to delve into some of the subgenres on these streaming sites, and they dry up quick. You know,
Jaws, Freddy Krueger. Like other day, I just rented The Sixth Man with Marlon Wayans and Kadeem Hardison, throwback, and you can't find it anywhere unless you go to the video store and get it.
So I try to find movies that aren't on the streaming sites because there's tons of them that aren't on the streaming sites, and they frequently take them on and off. So if you don't buy into all of them, you end up losing a lot of stuff. So I've learned collecting physical media is very important.
I do think that there's a current appreciation or more of appreciation for physical media. And people do come from all over because this is an experience that isn't replicated anywhere else.
There's a bit of a mystery there. When you just have the box art and the synopsis on the back and like 2 or 3 pictures. I remember being a kid and like seeing video store boxes and just being like, what's that thing about? Or being scared by them. Like the Evil Dead 2 cover was scary to me forever. Like, what's that about? Some skull with eyes. Like, that freaks me out. And when you see the box on streaming and this trailer starts, you're already giving away the ghost. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already seeing a trailer. There's no trailers on video boxes. There's just your imagination, and you're filling in the gaps.
It's much more fun to like pick up a box and like see who directed a movie, you know what I mean? And see who did the score for a movie and see, you know, Netflix won't tell you that shit. Like it doesn't tell you. This is the gnarliest selection of like any type of, like any video you could probably think of, it would be here. They have everything from the start of cinema. Everything from the start of cinema till right now is probably here if it's got a physical release.
Something about touching it, holding it, even the whole process of like putting it in and, you know, setting it up, setting your theater experience up, that's the best part, you know.
Maybe we are seeing that digital streaming or the kind of wasteland of streaming isn't as satisfying as completing the puzzle and owning the thing. And I'm back on board, you know? And whereas for a long time when video stores were around, I wasn't going to them. because I just moved on, right? Like it felt like an experience that had been outdated. But once something's outdated for a little while, it becomes cool again. And maybe like the idea of coming to a video store, again, just because it's such a rarity, is now like, it's cool again.
We had a customer that was just in town for, I think, like a hockey game downtown, and then Googled that and found us. And so he had to come in and take pictures here and wanted a flyer and wanted like just anything that he could have, you know, so that he could take it back home with him, you know. So it was cute. It was, I enjoy that. I enjoy people that walk in here and just want to film. They're like, can we film a TikTok or something? And I'm like, that's fine.
So maybe it just comes back around. Maybe it's just like everything comes back around in some fashion. This has like a cool cachet, the idea of a video store. Like, there's a video store?
I think one of the reasons we've been able to remain open and can keep going is we do have a strong customer base that is loyal to us, that enjoys coming back in, enjoys seeing us here.
It'd just be terrible if we live in a world where places like this didn't exist, I think at least. It's like a really good community asset, and I really hope we, like, with the nostalgia wave coming back for people like in our generation, I hope that more stores like this open up.
I would like to have it open for people's great-grandchildren and, yeah, to come in to know that physical media existed, that, you know, that it's not in your phone, you know, that you can actually go someplace, go to a record store, go to a video store, you know, and I love it. Yeah.
The world is full of movies. In order for to watch them, you gotta come here and pick them out. You can't watch them if you're sitting around at the house looking for them on the internet. The internet ain't got everything, you know? Everything is in here.